Live breaking news, Nez Nation. This is absolutely insane. Steven Crowder from the Mug Club able to obtain this undercover video footage of Dr. Jay Vara, who was the former senior advisor for public health at the New York City mayor's office during the worst pandemic we've seen since the Spanish flu almost 100 years ago. You're going to hear him confess to unbelievable, absolutely blood-curdling, blood-boiling things that he engaged in while everybody else had to be locked up at home. Your kids couldn't go to school. You couldn't go to church. These were all mandated. Wait till you hear this. This video needs to be shared. You need to like it. You need to absolutely share this with everybody you know. Listen to this, and then I've got a lot more for you. Come on back.
I actually was the one who convinced the mayor to make it a mandate.
Like, New York City found out that you were having sex parties during COVID?
Yeah, it would have been a big deal. Yeah, it would have been a real bad. We went to some, like, underground, like, dance party, like, underneath a bank in Wall Street. And we were all rolling, we were all taking Molly, and everybody's high. And I was so happy, because I hadn't done that in, like, a year and a half, like, a year or whatever. And but I was looking around being like, I wonder if anybody sees me, they're going to definitely, because this was not COVID friendly. The only way I could do this job for the city was if I had some way to blow off steam every now and then. You're kind of sneaky about it because hotels didn't want people gathering there. Because I was like running the entire COVID response for the city. My wife and I like had one with our friends, like in August of like that first summer. So we rented a hotel. It was fun. We all like took like, you know, Molly, and just like, it was like 8 or 9 of us and then 8 to 10 of us in a room, and everybody had a blast because everybody was like so pent up because it had been like everybody was just like stuck together and stuff like that. And sometimes it isn't so much about like imagery, it's like sometimes it's just something about like bodies being close to each other, right? Just being like naked with friends.
Was that like when everything was like locked down?
It was like the summer of 2020. So like walk around the streets and you could eat outdoors.
Did you have like any mandates in place?
There wasn't any restrictions on gathering. Like you could technically gather people. The hotels didn't want to necessarily parties, but they weren't gonna like. It's so funny. It's like this because I did all this like deviant like sexual stuff while I was like, you know, like on TV and all this stuff. And people are like, aren't you afraid? Aren't you embarrassed? And I was like, no, actually, I'm like really like I love being my authentic self. So the way we do it in public health is we make it very uncomfortable to be unvaccinated. I don't expect the education to change your behavior. I'm just gonna make it really hard for you to do your job. You can't get a job. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to school. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna get vaccinated.
So was it technically like kind of forcing you?
Yeah, that's what you force people by making it really uncomfortable.
So this guy, Dr. Jay Vara, and I'm going to show you his LinkedIn page too. It's still up. He deleted his X page. By the way, follow me on X. I'm Professor Nez pretty much everywhere, but I post a lot of stuff I can't post anywhere else on X. All my videos are here on this channel, but you got to follow me on X too. Links in the description, show notes, and pinned comment. So this guy was known as the COVID Czar during that time period that he worked for the New York City mayor's office. So this guy just admitted through an undercover, secret journalist, full credit to Steven Crowder and Mug Club, that while New Yorkers were locked down in their homes during probably the most oppressive COVID restrictions in the U.S. next to my home state, California, ironically enough, who else was out parading, doing whatever he wants while the rest of us were locked in our homes and our kids couldn't go to school? We couldn't go out. We literally were hostages in our own home. Yeah, you guessed it. Our governor, Gavin Newsom. Remember him? Where he had that little get-together at the laundry, whatever it was, restaurant, the French Laundry. All, gathering together in the height of the pandemic, mind you, caught on camera. And nobody was wearing masks. Nobody was social distancing, but yet we all had to be hostages in our own homes. And our kids couldn't go to school, and we couldn't go to church. So again, Jay Vara, the NYC COVID czar, he basically just admitted to holding secret drug-fueled sex parties during the global pandemic. You believe this, Nez Nation? It almost makes you think, like, could this be why they're going after Trump so much, trying to arrest him, assassinate him? all of these people, do they just know? And God knows how high up this goes. Do they all just think, wow, we've definitely got to get rid of Trump, because if Trump becomes president, we're all going to jail. I mean, he even admitted deviant sex drug-filled parties so he could blow off some steam. Hey, I want to blow off some steam. My wife wants to blow off some steam. My family wants to. I couldn't even have my kids see their grandparents. And you want to blow off steam? What about us? What about the American people you're supposed to serve? I mean, these guys are demonic. This is Jay Vara, the guy that you just saw on the undercover camera. This is his LinkedIn page. He went to Harvard College. Isn't that interesting and ironic? Harvard has really been exposed this entire year for being completely pro-Hamas supportive. And you remember Dr. Claudine Gay refusing to call genocide a violent act, refusing to accept the fact that her campus is in turmoil. These are indoctrination camps. I've told you so many times, I am a first-hand witness. I don't just call myself professor for kicks and giggles. I've taught at all these places. I know all these people. I've met all these people. I've worked with all these people. They don't care about anything other than themselves. So his LinkedIn page is still up. This guy is an actual physician. He's a chief medical officer for a pharmaceutical company. You can see his about page. He's a physician executive and an epidemiologist. This is something that I found so alarming and just really should ring a ton of alarm bells, red flags across the board. Look at his post 6 days ago. He posted an article that he wrote, or was he commissioned? The challenge of controlling mpox in Africa. Remember, monkeypox is like their latest election interference hoax that they want to basically thrust upon the American people. But look at the subtext, the subtitle, Why Vaccines Alone Will Not Be Enough. You can't make this stuff up, folks. These people need to go. They need to be tried. They need to be imprisoned. They need to have their license taken away, their ability to affect millions of American lives. That needs to stop today. I need you to share this like wildfire. Tap the thumbs up. It's free. It takes you only a nanosecond. Here you can see in his experience section, SIGA Technologies. He is the chief. So this guy makes a ton of money. Executive vice president. I've worked with chief medical officers in my consulting business. These guys are very, very well off. They make a ton of money. The parallel to being an administrator at a university, the administrators make 10 times more than the actual professors who actually do the work. Just like the chief medical officers, these guys are the admin for the hospitals and these companies where the doctors do all the work, get paid nothing. These guys get paid exorbitant salaries to basically spread God knows what kind of misinformation, God knows what kind of propaganda. And then on top of that, they're having drug-fueled sex parties underground while the rest of us have to be holed up in our homes. I said this before, that 2024 has been this beautiful year of exposure, exposing higher education, exposing the administration, exposing Joe Biden, exposing all of the government secrets, exposing Hunter Biden, exposing the laptop story, exposing the media, and so on and so forth. I remember very clearly during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, when our kids, who were a lot younger in elementary school at that time, were being homeschooled. And by the way, I live in a district where we pay exorbitant taxes. And one of the draws of buying a home in our area is the school district. The school district is touted as being one of the best in the state, if not, in the top 10 in the country. And I remember coming downstairs, because I was working at home at the time, and I remember coming downstairs and they were seated at the dining table with their computers. My wife had them all set up, of course. And I remember overhearing, it just sounded like a comedy of errors. It sounded like utter catastrophe. This is supposed to be one of the best districts in the land, and you had teachers who barely knew how to use Zoom. And on top of that, not only did they have zero technical wherewithal, which makes absolutely no sense at all. That was only a few years ago. We're living in a technological world. I mean, my grandmother can use Zoom. It's not difficult. But the lack of innovation, the lack of keeping up with the times, the lack of real world applicability, which is so egregious in the higher education institutions, because I witnessed that firsthand. But to witness it with my kids, to witness it in this school district that's supposed to be one of the top in the land, the educational system got exposed too through COVID, just like this guy is getting exposed, and just like so many other of our so-called leaders, Gavin Newsom included, Kamala Biden, everybody included, Dr. Fauci. It just seems so, I mean, comeuppance, the karma that is being served right now is so nice to see. But it's kind of bittersweet because we are the victims. Everybody, all Americans are the victims of these people in power who abuse their power left and right. And I truly believe the reason they don't want Trump in there is because all of these guys know they're probably going to jail. So you know what to do, my fellow Americans, Nez Nation. You know what to do in November. I throw this off to you. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of all this? Is this surprising, not surprising? What do you think should happen? Who do you think? You think Mayor de Blasio at the time was going to these parties? Maybe Governor Cuomo? God knows who, God knows what. P. Diddy? I don't know. Sounds like a P. Diddy party to me after everything we've heard in the last couple of days. I would love to hear from you, so I throw this off to you. Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you made it this far, make sure you sign up for our free newsletter. It's absolutely free. It's in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. All you got to do is click on that link, click on a free newsletter, give us your best email, and you're in. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Follow, subscribe over there. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.